Guys, so Justice Alito had warned us last week about executives overstepping their constitutional authority by implementing these lockdowns over COVID-19. Now, I specifically talked about Justice Alito's address and how he talked about the dangers of these lockdowns in reference to executives overstepping their powers and applying the law unfairly to certain institutions, namely religious institutions who have been shut down across the country, while other institutions like casinos and gyms and other places are able to stay open. Now, you may have not seen this video because YouTube nuked the video by restricting it to people only over 18. I mean, that video literally got like 1,000 views, right? YouTube nuked it, but it is what it is. But surely enough, Michigan's Governor Gretchen Whitmer has taken the lead among the Democrats in terms of who's going to overstep their executive authority the most. I mean, it's really a competition at this point between her and Andrew Cuomo. And she is facing some serious backlash, not from just Republican legislators, but also from businesses in the state. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. But before we get into the video, a lot of you guys ask, how can you help me? How can you support my channel? And you guys know I don't ask for donations. And the reason why I don't ask for donations is because I don't like people giving me money. I just don't like it. But I have been working on a startup, and my startup is trying to solve the problem of flushable wipes clogging drains and costing taxpayers millions of dollars across the country and local municipalities because they're improperly labeled. Flushable wipes actually don't flush, and they also can cost you thousands of dollars with your plumber from flushing them. So my startup is called Ashi. Ashi is very simple. It is a dispenser that creates flushable wipes just using toilet paper, which is actually flushable. Now, you guys use flushable wipes, or if you want to upgrade your wiping routine, you can check it out at ashihome.com. This is the perfect holiday gift for friends and family, or if you just want to get one for yourself. There's a very limited amount that I have. 10% of net proceeds will be donated to Toys for Tots. So if you guys want to help me out, this is the best way to do it. Again, I have a very limited supply, so if you want one, go get one today. Check it out. Link will be in the description. All right, guys. So Gretchen Whitmer, she's come out and she has basically gone full on authoritarian mode, in the sense that she has now implemented a 3-week lockdown in which the Michigan GOP has come out and said that she's crossed the line and that they are considering trying to impeach her and trying to have her removed from office. Michigan State Representative Matt Maddock has said the following in regards to Whitmer and her lockdowns and her executive authority. Quote, Michigan voters know she has committed the following impeachable conduct: ignored court orders, violated our constitutional rights, and ignored process and legislator. Now, the Wall Street Journal also has come out against Gretchen Whitmer, and they wrote this amazing piece that I just had to share with you guys regarding how restaurants are now suing over these selective lockdowns that are being implemented by the governor. So let's go ahead and get into this article. Rule by executive fiat in the states has become a hallmark of the pandemic, and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer seems determined to push its limits. After a rebuke by the state Supreme Court, the Democrat has found a new statutory justification to continue her arbitrary emergency rule of one. Michigan's Emergency Management Act gives the governor some emergency authority, but requires legislative approval beyond 28 days. In October, the state Supreme Court found Ms. Whitmer exceeded her authority by declaring a new emergency for, quote, the identical reasons after time ran out on the first one. The court also struck down Michigan's Emergency Powers of the Governor Act, saying that even amid a pandemic, quote, the sheer magnitude of the authority in dispute, as well as its concentration in a single individual, simply cannot be sustained within our constitutional systems of separated powers. This is exactly what Justice Alito was saying in his address regarding executive authority, that these lockdowns have really created a constitutional crisis in regards to what they're allowed to do. And essentially, these executives have abused their power to overstep the legislators, who are the ones that are supposed to be making the laws. Okay. The state Supreme Court stated that its decision leaves open many avenues for a governor and legislator to work together to address this challenge, and we hope that this will take place. Instead, her administration issued a new lockdown order on November 15th and cited the Public Health Code, which gives the Department of Health and Services broad authority to prohibit the gathering of people for any purpose during an epidemic. The new restrictions mirror some of Ms. Whitmer's edicts last spring. The order lasts through December 8th, though nothing prevents the Whitmer administration from extending it. The order prevents indoor dining and effectively shuts down restaurants again. Since few dine outside of Michigan's winter, indoor gatherings at private residences are limited to no more than 2 households and no more than 10 people. Michiganders can go to the museum, but not to a movie theater or ice skating rink. The list of arbitrary restrictions goes on, and anyone who violates it risks fines or jail time. Ms. Whitmer's office did not respond to our request for comment, but the health agency's director, Robert Gordon, said that the order rests firmly on epidemic powers given to the director of the State Department of Health and Human Sources after the Spanish flu a century ago, and it is lawful. We'll see about that. On Tuesday, 2 restaurant owners and the Michigan Restaurant and Lodging Association, which represents more than 5,000 restaurants in the state, filed suit in federal court. They claim the emergency order denies restaurant owners due process and constitutes an unlawful taking of their property. The suit states that proprietors of restaurant, cafes, bars, and breweries have lost the ability to use their real and personal property in any meaningful, economically beneficial manner, and they have no adequate remedy at law for this continuing violation of their constitutional rights. The complaint notes that some 2,000 establishments have already closed for good, and some 6,000 may soon follow if the restrictions aren't lifted. Instead of issuing a blanket ban on gatherings as the Public Health Code allows, the lawsuit claims the health department has imposed capricious, sporadic, and selective regulations that irrationally single out restaurants and bars while permitting non-essential businesses to offer indoor services. This amounts to improper constitutional lawmaking by the Whitmer administration, the complainant suggests. The same pick and choose restrictions may also constitute an equal protection violation. Americans have peacefully accepted coercive limits on their daily life that couldn't have been imagined 9 months ago. Yet a pandemic doesn't negate the Constitution. As Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito said last week, the longer emergency powers are in use, the more they become questionable under law. The bar may be closed, but too many governments are drunk on power. Perhaps federal courts can sober them up. All right, guys, so that was an excellent opinion piece from the Wall Street Journal. I'm actually a big fan of the Wall Street Journal. I feel like a lot of their news is actually fair and balanced, because they come from a straight financial perspective, which I like. But again, guys, this is just another example of Democrats overstepping their boundaries and becoming authoritarians. And they love to get on President Trump about that. They love to say President Trump's an authoritarian. But yet, during a time in which President Trump could have been an authoritarian, when it would have been okay to do so, in which he would have got away with it, he chose not to do it, and he's been killed by the media because of it. The media has criticized President Trump for not having a mask mandate, for not forcing shutdowns, for not trying to violate our constitutional rights. However, The Democrats have decided that they're going to go whole hog on authoritarianism and selectively shut down businesses and kill the economies in their own states. 9 months ago, we could never imagine this type of lockdown, that this type of executive authority could have this much effect on our lives. I mean, this is serious stuff that conservatives have been warning people about for a long time, right? The executive branch, even of the federal government, as well as the state governments, have taken too much power. I mean, some people are just brainwashed. I mean, guys, listen to this. On Twitter, I came across a rap song about Miss Whitmer, in which this rapper from Detroit is basically celebrating her and these lockdowns. I mean, listen to this verse. Big Gretch in this blank, playing no roles at all. Excuse all the cussing. And that's just how I get my flow on, for real. If you want to leave the state, you can stay gone. But right now, Big Gretch says stay home. Sit your A down. All that protesting was irrelevant. Big Gretch ain't trying to hear y'all or the president. How y'all gonna take orders from a non-resident? Talking about it's safe, but he ain't coming with the evidence. Big Gretch got him shook now. When it's all over, you invited to the cookout. When it's all over, you deserve to get took out. Big Gretch on the buffs on the lookout. And she ain't doing it, and she doing it for Michigan. So when she hits the stand, everybody listening. She on a pair of buffs with the ice up end up glistening. On behalf of whole Detroit, Michigan. I mean, this dude is out here celebrating. His rights been taken away. Again, it's one thing if they applied it consistently across the board, right? But they're not doing that. And the first thing they want to do is use the argument, well, we're doing it for your safety. I know what's best for your safety. I know what's best for you. So you need to listen to me because you don't know what's best for yourself. You are not capable of making your own decisions regarding your health and who you're going to be around for Thanksgiving. I mean, guys, they're saying this about Thanksgiving. Come Christmas, dude, they're going to tell people, no, you can't see your family for Christmas too. That's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, it's coming. We know it's coming. And this is who the Democrats are right now. You know, and they try to do it in the name of being quote unquote responsible, but it's really irresponsible. They're irresponsibly giving power to executives in a way that you could define as almost like a dictatorship. I mean, let's be real here. It's one thing if the legislative branch had came together and said, okay, we're going to implement these lockdowns, and it was something that was agreed upon from a bipartisan perspective, and it was a law actually passed. However, that's not what's happening here. What's happening is you have one single authority telling people what to do. And I don't see how people don't have a problem with this. This type of stuff snowballs in the sense that what happens after this pandemic is done? What happens when, you know, we're a year or two removed from this and all of a sudden they find some other reason to use this authority, and then they go and they cite, well, we did it during the pandemic. We did it because of Corona. We can do it now. Again, guys, people don't understand. This stuff snowballs, man. There's a reason why there's a legislative branch, a judicial branch, and an executive branch. There's a reason why powers are divided to prevent people from making unilateral decisions like this that impede on our constitutional rights. And, I mean, it's really sad to see people going out here defending this stuff, or at least not being more critical of it and questioning, okay, why is it that you're applying it unevenly? Why do some places get to stay open that are non-essential and some don't? They almost like these Democrats want a dictator. They just believe in their dictatorship to a fault. They don't care what it is because they feel like they're righteous. And it's just really sad to see. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.